Hello and welcome to the November edition of Where is Luka this month? Well, we've got a couple of things to cover. I'm going to try to be brief. Glad to land in your inbox, and I hope that this shift into the fall season is feeling good for you. Just wanted to let you know of a few things that are happening around here in the month of November. We are shifting gears. So I've just done a 2-month intensive on thyroid support with clients and in the Good Food Network. And now we're going to shift into a completely different topic, one I have yet to cover. So it's kind of exciting. This was by request. A few folks who are actually in the Good Food Network said, hey, do you think you could? And I'd never done this topic. So I thought, well, that's an obvious no-brainer. Like, obviously, I need to cover that topic. What's wrong with me that I've yet to cover it? And we might have touched on it a little bit, but we're talking about the microbiome. So on my social channels, I'm posting less and less because the content doesn't get out to anybody. So social media is getting less effective in providing you with the support it is that you need. And so, unfortunately, you're not going to see much of it over there. Where you're going to see it is in the Good Food Network. Where you're going to see it is in the classes that I offer. So the free content that you find online only serves a very small part of just getting you to understand if that's an issue for you, if that's a piece you want to address, whatever is that topic. But to go further, then you need to get some of those to-do pieces. And there's a lot of different content out there. So what my aim is to do by having content in the Good Food Network is to have a one-stop shop where you can have all of the details sequentially added to a to-do list that you'll build yourself over the course of the month or two or more if you want to stay in the Good Food Network. I've got it set up as a subscription service. So you stay as long as you want and you leave when you're like, I don't need that topic. Everybody needs the microbiome topic. Surprise. Okay, so what are we covering? So in the Good Food Network, this whole microbiome thing is going to take us 2 months to dive into different aspects of it. I want to take you over right now to an image that's going to list some of what it is that we're going to be covering. So we do these sessions in the network. There's a session every week. Some weeks there are 2, but most weeks there's only 1. And these are the weekly topics we're going to be covering in the month of November. So just to give you a little bit of a taste test or a teaser, really, of what is going to be awaiting you when you're ready to join us in the Good Food Network. So the first week, we're going to touch on the microbiome and immunity connection. So you're going to get to know a little bit more on why the microbiome is such a crucial piece to address with anyone who has embattled immune system, autoimmune conditions, and the role it plays in that burden of stress. That's what I always bring it back to. That burden of stress is synonymous to inflammation, having a hard time getting through the day, lack of resiliency, loss of vitality. You could put it in those sort of general whooshy terms. The burden of stress is what drives chronic disease. It's what drives inflammation. It's what drives everything and all those symptoms that you've got. So when we dive into these topics in the month of November and into December, we're going to be addressing your burden of stress through the microbiome, if that makes sense. To me, it's one of the foundational pillars. Really, we're looking at gut health, but even more specialized, we're looking at the microbiome in particular. So first week, talking about immunity and microbiome, why those two are so connected and what you can do. Each session always offers 3 potential things that you can add to your to-do list. In the second week, we're going to talk about the microbiome and the circadian rhythm connection. This is a really fascinating topic that is going to be very difficult to keep to half an hour, but I'm sure gonna try. The third week, we're going to dive into another topic called microbiome and liver connection, and why, if you've done lots of support to the liver and you're not seeing some of that movement happen, or some of the benefits you're looking for, now comes the invitation to look at what's happening with your microbiome. And then we get into solutions. This is what I mean by when you join the network, you get the solutions. You don't just get the pointing out where the problem is, because social media is really good at that. But you can't offer solutions on social media because then it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then they take you out of commission. So yay, which I'm going to see as a way to help me build what it is that I offer as services a little bit better for you. So it can be very clear where you'll find the solutions. Now, the last week, we're going to be talking about constipation and why it's not always a question of fiber or adequate water, but potentially an invitation to dive deep into the microbiome. That's just the first month. In December, we're going to cover a whole bunch of new topics as well. So we're doing 2 full months deep dive with a weekly session in the Good Food Network. So now I want to show you what that calendar looks like of those live events in the Good Food Network for the month of November. So this is how you can expect the month to look. And every time there's a live session, pal, we have a replay available. So if you can't join live for that session, you're going to be able to watch the replay and you'll have the capacity to watch any and all of them before the month runs out. So those Thursday morning sessions, those weekly sessions I just talked about, you'll see them listed there on that Thursday morning. Every month, we also do one class. So this class this month is on SOS microbiome. I don't have this class yet, so I'm going to build it in the next week. I'm looking forward to it. I already have ideas on what I think will pull it all together. This is going to be the Microbiome 101 kind of crash course. We're going to dive into what is the microbiome, what impacts your microbiome in a positive way, in a negative way. And then we're going to talk about ways to support a robust microbiome and why that is the key to overall wellness in any and all situations. You see all these different dietary protocols. Some will tell you how to do it this way, others will tell you should do it this way. And it's true, I really think there's a different approach depending on what it is that you've got going on. But there's also a really general, easy way into supporting your microbiome. That's what we're going to cover in this class. At the end, you'll get 5 new ways to put things in place or practical solutions to put in place. Some will be very easy, some will be a little bit more complex. And then there's more supports offered if you need them. So that's going to be our class. So here's the thing, when you're in the Good Food Network, you get all of these for the one price. But if that's too much information for you, you can also just take the one class. So if it's that one class on Wednesday, November 13th, you want to take this SOS microbiome class, then I'm going to drop 2 links for you just below. The first link is going to be to join us in the whole Good Food Network so you can have access to all of these live sessions. The second one is going to take you to just that SOS microbiome class. The cost difference is $10, friend. That's it. So for an extra $10, you get all of these other Thursday morning sessions as well. You also get a whole bunch more with that, let me tell you. So when you join the Good Food Network, it's not just the live stuff. There's a bunch of pre-recorded content that helps round everything out as well. So if you're like, yeah, I already got the microbiome piece down pat, I don't need the Good Food Network, Luka. Well, hang on a second. In the Good Food Network for the month of November, we are going to be doing a full class on fermentation, a 90-minute class actually, on fermentation that you will have access to and you can watch whenever you want. We do some dairy and non-dairy ferments in there. We do some vegetable-based ferments. We talk about ones that have a starter and others you can just start spontaneously. What else do we have in the Good Food Network this month? We're talking about I'm trying to go through what it is. I was just looking at it. There's a weekly Good Food Challenge in there where there's a new food that you want to feature with 8 to 10 ideas, usually on how to cook this item. There's a series of recipes. We've got a whole module on eating seasonally, which will make sense when you catch that circadian rhythm and microbiology or microbiome class. Yeah, there's just so many things. The key gem to this is a little class called Vitality Gut. The Vitality Gut class is an $80 class on its own, and you'll get it for no charge for the month of November and December if you want to stick around. So it's a really, really good value. And if you found some of the content before in my newsletters or in the social media stuff that I used to put out, and you're missing that component, it's all in the Good Food Network. And there's a nominal fee to it because I have to cover my bases, and the way that it's delivered is all organized in a big system that allows you to enter whenever you have free time, whenever you want to go access replays so that it's easy from your end. And this way, I'm able to still continue providing some of this content for you. So if you have microbiome questions, microbiome issues, I've tried probiotics, Luka, they do a number on my guts. Yes, they do. What if in 20 years we find out that that probiotics were a bad idea? We're going to be talking about that. What are prebiotics? What are postbiotics? What's the difference? Why do I have to care? Well, we're going to super simplify things. We always come back to the same thing in the Good Food Network, and we're going to continue with that theme into the month of November and December. So again, you've got two potential links just below. The first one is to join us in the Good Food Network. You'll get a series of recipes as well when that happens. Or you can just sign up to take the SOS microbiome class. If you're just starting to figure out microbiome things and you want to make sense of what it is, come and join that class. That one is 25. The network is 35. So those two are going to be directly below, and you can take yourself through where that registration is. Just click on those links. Now, last but not least, I'm going to leave you with one more thing that I'm doing this month. On the Wednesday, November 20th, I have my calendar in front of me. Over at Histamine Haven, we are doing a free class, a free master class on the histamine connection with how histamine and mast cells actually influence brain, nervous system, mood, the psychoneuroimmunology connection. So it's a free class. You can register for that. You can join us live on Wednesday, November 20th. It's at 12:30 Mountain Time. The replay will go out to everybody who registers, and then we share more resources for those who need them. But if you question whether or not you've got a histamine issue, you might want to join us in this class. It's really fascinating how much histamine has a role to play in the brain and the nervous system. So that is link number 3 just below where you're watching this video. That's it for me for the month of November. Hope that all is well in your neck of the woods. I would go on a rant here, but I don't feel like ranting anymore. I think the world is just fine how it is. I think there are parts of it that are not fine, and we all need to do our work on those pieces. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to create the new world. I'm going to help create it. I'm going to help build what it is that I think I can bring to the collective, and I encourage you to do the same. And I look forward to crossing paths with you down the road. Take care. Salut. À bientôt.